high-definition news leader. This is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
Good morning, Colorado. It's 6:34 a.m. Saturday, August 27th. I'm Angelica Lombardi. Bonnie Silkman has the morning off. Let's go ahead and take a live look now outside at Pueblo. You can see clear skies, beautiful start to our morning. Little sunrise back there in the distance. Can't really beat that. Let's go ahead now and check on weather for our weekend with Storm Tracker 13's Marty. And Marty, what do we have in store?
Well, I think we have in store some more typical late summer weather as compared to last week, which of course was pretty cool around here. Starting out with a nice sunny day, as you mentioned, we're going to warm up more noticeably today. But right now it's still pretty cool. 51 degrees at Underwater Connection at I-25 and Garden of the Gods. Nice look back towards Pikes Peak, which is beautifully lit by the rising sun. The wind is not much of a factor anywhere this morning. Skyscan shows what was left of the storms have already moved well out of the state. Mentioned some of the severe weather that's been going on across the eastern United States. It's a little bit quieter this morning. We do have a few showers and thunderstorms moving through the Midwest right now, and maybe a few more out here across the southwestern United States. That's associated with the monsoon flow. Most of the country looks like it's going to be pretty darn warm today, with 80s to around 90 over the southern, say, 2/3 of the nation. We'll have some 70s out here across the U.S.-Canadian border and when you get out towards the Pacific Northwest. And we won't be real warm today with 70s and lower 80s, but that puts us real close to seasonal averages. So we'll shoot for about 81 in Colorado Springs today. Might push it up a degree or so tomorrow. Overnight tonight, nice sleeping weather with lows in the 50s. We do expect some storms. They're not likely to be real strong, certainly not severe, but the stronger cells certainly could produce plenty of lightning and some bursts of heavy rain and chase you indoors for a little while as they cruise across the area. Pueblo, I think you too could have some storms today. We'll keep the wind relatively light, except for in the vicinity of any storms that might develop. Highs in the mid to upper 80s through the weekend, overnight lows in the 50s. We're tracking some slightly cooler air maybe early next week, but as compared to the one we just went through, I think it looks pretty typical for the next week or so. More on that coming up in our main weather segment in just a bit. Angelica, back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Marty. Well, today, Motor City auto dealers and related merchants in the Springs hope to recoup some of the business they lost during yesterday's fuel spill. That spill from an overturned tanker shut down Motor City Drive. That forced many Motor City shops to close until just after 1 in the afternoon. Authorities and at least one witness say the driver may have taken a curve too fast. He was taken to a hospital. No word yet on his identity or condition. Of course, Friday is one of the busier days of the week at those auto dealerships.
We've lost a half a day. You don't get those back, and so it's especially going into the weekend. You know, people wanted to get out of town and maybe had to get a couple things done to their car or get a new car for a weekend trip. So so we're going to be scrambling this afternoon, and it's going to put a little more pressure on tomorrow.
Authorities are checking to see whether a drain in the stormwater system may have trapped some of the fuel. The spill of the gasoline and diesel fuel happened around 4 in the morning yesterday. The shelves at the Salvation Army Food Bank are nearly empty, and right now the charity hopes the public can step up and pitch in. The food pantry provides about 15 bags of food for families each day of the week. Those bags contain enough food to feed a family for several days. According to the Salvation Army, they help more than 10,000 area families every year.
We collected more food this Christmas and this past year than we ever before, yet our pantry is almost bone empty. And I think the reason is there's more demand. We're averaging about 65 to 70 bags a week.
If you would like to donate some non-perishable food items to the food bank, you could do so by dropping off your donation at 908 Yuma Street. They are there Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Well, sad news this morning. A Colorado family is mourning the loss of a young son and brother who paved the way for others like him. A Lakewood teenager is the reason behind a new state law that now allows medical marijuana to be used at school. KRDO News Channel 13's Eric Fink shares the story.
Jack Split is not a household name, but maybe it ought to be. The 15-year-old died Wednesday night of complications from his cerebral palsy. He is the namesake of Jack's Law, a bill that allows kids in need to take forms of medical marijuana on school grounds. His mother, Stacy Lynn, believes the drug both relieved pain and helped her son thrive.
It is not some evil, crazy reefer madness drug, and Jack wants people to know that, and that is the legacy he will leave. He will stand forever in these shoes and carry this message.
Lynn, along with Jenny Storms, whose son Jax goes to Sands Creek High School, worked tirelessly convincing lawmakers to take a chance.
Jack was turned into a zombie by pharmaceutical medicine. He couldn't hardly function.
The medical marijuana in schools bill was passed unanimously in the Colorado State Senate, and it was signed by Governor Hickenlooper back in June on a day where Jack was able to witness the governor put pen to paper.
Bang, just like that. It's a law.
We really offer our regrets and sympathies, our prayers for their family, and just thank them for stepping forward. And certainly that's a pioneering effort.
His mom will forever remember that kind, warm smile.
After he started with medical marijuana, he was back to himself. He got to be Jack for the final days of his life.
A short life that will have a lasting impact. Eric Fink, KRDO News Channel 13.
Under Jack's law, school districts across Colorado must create a medical marijuana policy. D49 led the way earlier this year. Right now, the medicine, though, must be administered by a parent or caregiver. The annual Fill the Boot campaign kicked off yesterday in Colorado Springs. Mayor John Suthers joined members of the fire department as they prepared to hit the streets to collect money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. It's a tradition that dates back more than 60 years. Proceeds help fund treatments and cures for debilitating muscle diseases. The money also helps to send more than 90 local kids to the MDA summer camp in Empire, Colorado.
I can't stop smiling, I also have to say. Camp lets me get away for a whole week and lets me have a week filled with fun and with new friends who share the same disabilities as I do.
Firefighters in Pueblo will fill the boot starting next Wednesday on September 2nd. To date, fire crews across the nation have raised more than $500 million for MDA. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper was able to answer the question, where's the beef, during the first night of the Colorado State Fair last night. The governor's beef show was held at the Livestock Pavilion. It's a fun event sponsored by the Colorado Farm Bureau and pairs 4-H and FFA kids and their animals with local celebrities. Our very own John Carroll, Abby Oconee, and Mike Everett were all there as guest handlers. They had a short time to learn the finer points of livestock presentation, on which, of course, they'll be judged.
And it's a great opportunity to talk to the 4-H and FFA kids to find out how much pride they actually have in their product, in their projects. These are kids that they're working at sun up through sundown with these animals, and not just the steers, the hogs, the sheep, the goats as well.
The kids participating are from all over the state and compete in other steer competitions during the fair. If livestock isn't your thing, well, there's plenty of other things to see. Of course, you have the rides, exotic fried foods, and plenty of vendors you won't find anywhere else. This year also features some new attractions designed to inject a little education into your child's trip to the fair.
So we started this to reach out to kids that would never go to Science Museum, just to get them excited about science.
All of our planning and preparation fell into place beautifully, and we're just so excited to be going with the 2016 fair.
And that right there was the fair's new general manager, Sarah Cummings. She's excited to finally see everyone's hard work paying off and says she will do everything she can to make sure the fair stays in Pueblo. This year, there are more than 300 exhibitors, 50 food vendors, and of course those daily livestock events we showed you, including the Junior Livestock Sale on Tuesday. The state fair runs from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday through Sundays, and from noon to 11 p.m. on Monday through Thursdays. And that fair will run through Labor Day. Of course, you can always find out more about those events at krdo.com. And looking ahead today, we're excited to tell you about a homecoming ceremony for 195 Fort Carson soldiers. They're all returning home for the first time in months. The event will be held at the William Reed Special Events Center at 5:15 tonight. It will honor those from the 4th Combat Aviation Brigade. Those soldiers deployed in December of 2015. Of course, always an exciting time to see them return home and reunite with their families. National and local performers will be in Colorado Springs today for an inspiring show that honors our nation's heroes. The Colorado Military Tattoo will feature 400 performers, including military bands, bagpipes, choirs, and other performance groups. There will also be 2 shows today at the Pikes Peak Center downtown. The first one begins this afternoon at 2:30, and the second kicks off at 7:30 tonight.